apologies to everyone for the delay. I've been spending like the last two weeks, 2.5 weeks, I don't know, whatever it is, trying not to Ronnie McNutt myself. But I didn't. So let's go. So welcome back to another episode of Condemned with Goblin O'Riley. That's me. And like I said in the intro, I apologize for the delay. I know there isn't really like a set standard or like that I have to release when I say I will, but it's a good way to keep myself consistent and not procrastinating. Like I said, just been going through some shit up in the noggin, but we're doing it. We're pushing through. So yeah. This episode was originally supposed to come out June 1st as the first official episode of Pride Month celebration, which, by the way, happy Pride Month, everyone. Everyone's loved here. Everyone's accepted here. Everyone has a home here. We don't judge unless you're, awful and evil and racist or anything like that. But if your heart's full of love, then we're here to love you too. So, yeah. So for this month, I actually wanted to cover three movies, whether they're queer movies or involve LGBTQ plus actors, directors, if they're stories, which I still plan to do. Just because I'm slacking means that you guys are probably going to get 2 episodes this week if I can, get this one out as well. And before we get to it, I don't really have any news or anything for this week. I honestly have not been paying attention to whatever the fuck's going on. It's been the least of my concerns lately. But I do have one very special shout out, as I do for most episodes. But this one is something that's very personal to me. As many of you know, I was raised in a gay household. And one of the greatest people I've ever met was actually my stepdad. He was a graphic designer and he was very much an advocate for LGBTQ rights, as well as just being a sanctuary for anybody who came across his paths. He was full of love and he was an artist. In a world where a lot of my family grew up doing factory work and, just wake up, put your head down, go to work, things will work out when they work out. He was someone who really advocated and pushed me to pursue artistic pursuits and to really grab a hold of that side of me and express it to the best way I can because he saw that, I was very different than everyone else in my family or how I was raised and such. And it really meant a lot to me and really helps me in certain ways get to where I am now. And like I said, one of the things he really cared about was LGBT queer youth, people who didn't feel accepted at home and didn't really have a place in school and stuff. And he wanted to give these people, give people a safe space who didn't necessarily have them in their lives to fully be themselves. And that's something that really mattered a lot to him, was people becoming their most authentic and fullest self and getting to live the life that they wanted, even for those few hours that they were at a center or whatever, getting the help that they needed, or even just having a place to meet like-minded individuals and people who are struggling with the same thing. This dream of his came to life in 2019 when he started the Uplift Outreach Center in South Carolina. He did it with the help of Deb Foreman, who is very close with my family. My baby mama is married to her grandson now, and so it's just kind of this big circle of people who all know each other and support each other. But it's a fantastic place. You can get mental health help, you can get school help, you can get medical help, whatever it is you need that you may not necessarily feel comfortable getting through normal means, like through your family, or if you feel out of place or anything like that. Just a place for people to come together and, like I said, be their most authentic selves and feel a sense of community that they may not necessarily feel in their community. It's a fantastic place. They're doing great things. They constantly do fundraisers and art galas, and they're just really trying to give a voice to the voiceless in the Bible Belt of the Deep South. So my shout out is, I'm going to post the website below. I also will post a donation link, but it would really mean a lot if anyone out there give, $5, $10 to this wonderful organization. This month specifically, where representation is, welcomed more than ever, and as sad as it is, this month is to allow people to be themselves, even if they don't feel like they can all of the time, and allow people to be proud of who they are. During the whole rest of the year, when there's a large, vocal majority or minority, however which way you look, who want awful things to happen to this community of people because they are themselves. So just reach out, look at the information, support in any way you can, spread the word. But again, if if you're able to throw, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, I really think you should take a look at the Uplift Outreach Center in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Like I said, it's ran by great people doing great work. Unfortunately, my stepfather passed away quite a few years ago, but the mission and his goal and dream stays alive, and help that stay alive, because there's people out there who want to be dead, and nobody should ever have to feel that way. So like I said, the link will be down below for more information, as well as a donation link. Any little bit can help, but yeah, it's something that's important to me, so figured what better time than now to see what I can do to help. And now with that out of the way, there isn't really much to do but discuss this movie that I'm going to butcher the name of multiple times, because if you couldn't tell, I'm white and uncultured. So forgive me for all the times I'm going to butcher it. If anything, I'll just put in the Google Translate that was sent to me to know how to pronounce it properly, which I will still fuck up because I'm bad at French and rolling my R's. So we will be talking about
TRôNE.
Directed by Vivian Quintero, or however you say it. Again, uncultured. We've been friends for years and I still just haven't asked because I don't like to seem like an asshole. So yeah, let's get to it. So forewarned, I just recorded like 15 minutes of reviewing this and did not realize my mic was on mute the whole time. So I'm going to do my best to do it all over again. Sorry. So yes, today we're going to talk about what I'm going to start pronouncing by the English name TRôNE, or
TRôNE.
the newest movie from filmmaker Vivian, who is also the brains and mastermind behind Embryo House and Embryo Pink. A great company that does very limited releases, but a lot of love are put into the releases. A lot of cool bonuses come with, the disc, whether it's a shirt or a booklet or just something that really helps it stand out. So, I mean, check out those releases. They're very limited. Sometimes they're hard to get, but definitely worth it every time. So Vivian and I have been friends for years now, and this is a project that's been in the works for a while. If you remember a few years back, White Gardenia was working on the Bible anthology, getting a bunch of independent filmmakers together to tell their versions or their ideas of these stories from the Bible and put it together in this like 6-hour epic magnum opus, whatever it was. Not a lot of buzz about it lately, but then Vivian reached out and sent me this movie, TRôNE. And it's all of her Bible shorts or pieces for the Bible anthology put together in about an hour long kaleidoscopic collage of, biblical stories and very surreal, at times abrasive, but very abstract storytelling and means. They're also re-edited, as well as new music has been added from Coffin Bath, which the soundtrack helps it immensely. Vivian's movies are more movies that you experience instead of watch. They're very abstract. They don't hold your hands. A lot of the times there's no real characters, or the story is very you have there's a lot of interpretation left to the story. You'll give pieces and tidbits, but for the most part you're going to have to figure it out yourself. And they carry with them this certain vibe. I will say for some of Vivian's films, there's you have to be in the right mood, the right mindset, the right vibe, if you will, to really, really engulf yourself in them, because they aren't movies. They're not point A, point B, point C. The stories are very out there. They're up to interpretation a lot of the times, though there is intent with the images that she puts on the screen. But if you do get in that right mindset and, engulf yourself in it, as I said, then they're very moving and at times very cathartic pieces that deal with a lot of dark topics and dark ideas about, isolation, loneliness, as well as mental health issues, amongst a bunch of other things. Now, this one doesn't have as much of, the personal emotion in it as it is her interpretations of biblical stories with the intent of, a wider, longer narrative. But what is given here is very, very moving and phenomenal. I mean, just in general, I saw the original shorts years ago when they were first made, and I will say the editing on these ones, because it's a new edit, is absolutely astounding, and it's just leaps and bounds above what it was. And I love seeing Vivian move in that direction, because she is a creative and an artist, but I feel at times, during the early years, some of the editing left her on limitations that couldn't nearly express what she wanted to, and it seems like she's broken those bounds and is fully confident in the editing and the, you know, putting the music in there and just everything coming together so perfectly. It shows great skill as well as great progress, and I'm so excited to see just future wise what comes from this and what comes out of it. Like I said, it's only an hour long. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all. It's very engaging the whole time as long as you do pay attention. Like again with the editing style, with it being more of a kaleidoscopic collage of images, there are things you can miss and that'll kind of blank you out on what's kind of going on or what you can piece from it, because this is the sort of work where if you miss one thing then it's easy to get completely lost. But I think that's what forces you to pay attention in a way that some other movies are more background noise, whereas this one calls for your attention and your undivided attention. Also, shout out Ivy. Ivy helped get this produced, and that's fucking awesome. Love seeing, you know, creators support creators and just keep pushing people forward and helping out in any way they can. So, extra shout out to Ivy. As well as, you know, thanks Vivian. Watching the credits, I noticed a name in the thank you section, and it really meant a lot to me because I wasn't expecting it, and honestly I never do. People have done it a couple of times and always blows me away. Like who gives a fuck? It's me. Like I'm a fucking asshole, nobody cares, but I guess some people do, and that's beautiful and I love that. So thank you for that, I really appreciate that. But yeah, if this sounds like your thing, I highly recommend checking it out. I think there's plans for a physical release coming soon. I just don't know the exact details or anything like that, but I mean, I would say if this sounds like your thing, if you prefer something you would see in an art gallery over a movie theater, I'd say watch this, check this out. It's very different than what anyone else in the community is really doing. Vivian has her own very distinct style, and I think it's kind of a breath of fresh air when you see so many clones and copycats of certain things that are interesting in the first place. Yeah, overall, I had a great time with this. It was a lot of fun. Again, it's only an hour. I'd say check it out, you know, smoke a joint, relax, just, you know, totally immerse yourself into it. But I'd say, yeah, at least watch it once, just for the fact of seeing something different that you don't see every day in this community. Oh yeah, it would probably help to mention that if you don't know, Vivian is trans, and so that's why she's the first movie of the month. It was actually supposed to be June 1st, and that wasn't planned. I was going to review it anyways after Cocaine Stepdad. It just so happened that the first day would have been June 1st for the first Monday, which I missed. So I'm going to make up for it now. There's 3 movies I do want to talk about this month as a full Condemned episode. So this is the first one, and then next week, or this week, I guess, yeah, I'm kind of aiming for Wednesday. I'm going to see what I can do, but Wednesday, hopefully I'll have a review out about a movie that was released I think over a decade ago, if not slightly less than that I feel like is a great movie for this time of month, as well as one that doesn't get talked about a lot. And I think a lot more people should mention it, because from what I've heard from the people I have brought it up with who've seen it, they love it. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's great, man. I kind of forgot about that movie. And so think it's a good way to kind of bring it back and shine some light on a project that I feels like it's forgotten about way too much. So again, check out the Uplift Outreach Center. Links down below if you would like to donate. That would be awesome. Check out TRôNE when it comes out. Again, I very much enjoyed it, and I think a lot of other people will too. So until next time, just be nice to each other. Love each other. What the fuck else do we got going on? So yeah, be happy, love one another, and always listen to Putrid Liquid. Thanks again.